The school office can give out Plan B emergency contraception and other oral or injectable birth control to girls as young as 14 years old without telling their parents. That is, unless their parents opt out of the program, but they have to know about it first. And this is not the first time this happens, but what makes the news is that this is the first time city schools are handing out hormonal birth control and Plan B, which can prevent pregnancy if taken within the first 72 hours. This also brings to mind the news we read earlier this year that for the first time in history, Planned Parenthood opened up a health clinic on campus at a public high school. This was in Los Angeles at Roosevelt High School in the Boyle Heights area, for those of our listeners who are familiar with the area. We're talking about a joint project between Planned Parenthood and the LA Unified School District to reduce the number of unplanned pregnancies at a low-income neighborhood where Latinos live. So it's very racially targeted there. And the primary purpose of that Planned Parenthood clinic at Roosevelt High School was to offer birth control. And the services, quote-unquote services, are free and confidential. So many parents don't realize what is going on with the students, with their children at the schools. So today we have Astrid Bennett Gutierrez with us. She is the Executive Director of Los Angeles Pregnancy Services. For more than 13 years, she has been working in crisis pregnancy counseling, specifically with Hispanics in the LA area. She is in ground zero right there. Joy, there's a lot going on with students in public high schools, and parents are not aware of what is going on and are not notified.
Well, Astrid, are you there? We welcome you to At Home with Jim and Joy.
Thank you so much, Jim and Joy. It's a pleasure to be on the show with you. I hope you're both doing well.
We are, by God's great grace and mercy. Astrid, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at your Pregnancy Resource Center, and then we'll go to, for the listening audience, why don't you let them know what emergency contraception is. But first, tell them a little bit about who you are.
Sure. Well, I am a native of Los Angeles. I was raised in a neighborhood in Los Angeles called the Westlake District near downtown LA. And, as God would have it, my life is made a 360, and now I'm working in this same neighborhood. But the reason I'm working here is because I committed my life to the Lord, and I wanted to serve Him and the most vulnerable of His people, the unborn. But my neighborhood where I grew up, Jim and Joy, has 9 abortion centers within a 1 mile radius.
Mercy.
So it's one of these, as Elena described it, ground zero areas for abortion. And a lot of people don't know this, that there are these areas where low-income people, very vulnerable populations live. Another neighborhood similar to this is Queens, New York, that has multiple abortion centers, and poor people live there. They're government-funded abortions that are given out here, so they're making a lot of money off vulnerable people. So what we do at our pregnancy center, and as God would have it, we're right in the middle of all these clinics, trying to do our best to reach out to the community, to tell them that we're here for them, that they're not alone, that they do not have to fear being parents, that a child, no matter what circumstances are surrounding the pregnancy, a child is a blessing. And we've seen miracle upon miracle of situations where you thought, wow, this is a real cross this family is carrying, this young woman, this couple. And yet, when they choose life, when they choose to trust God, and you see that child in their arms and their face is radiant, you see that, when we trust in God, we cannot go wrong. And this child, far from being a burden, far from being a detriment, this child brings countless blessings. This child gives them a new meaning to go on with life. And the beautiful thing is when I see these couples that were so depressed, that were just thinking that abortion was a solution, they were dragging their soul when they came into our center, then they're radiant and they're singing God's praises. And I think that's what's amazing, is the transformations that we see in choices for life, and then also in choosing to live their life for God. And that's what we always hope for these families, is that in this time of crisis, they also find the Lord. So our work is really difficult. The resources are really, really sparse, as you could imagine. We're in a poor neighborhood. These places are making money. We're spending funds that I don't know where they come from, but we are able to advertise and try to be in these places, have sidewalk counselors, We have an army of volunteers that are trying to find these families, get the word out. The churches collaborate with us. So it's a big mission, and LA has 40 abortion clinics, but 9 are in this little neighborhood. So it's a really tough mission, but we're grateful that we can be here by the grace of God to touch these people's lives. But we need a lot more help and prayers because the spiritual battle is fierce.
To all of our listeners out there, if you'd like to speak with Astrid and hear her respond to you regarding the work of her pro-life center right in the midst of Los Angeles, surrounded by 9 abortion centers, and it was just stunning to hear 40 abortion mills there in the Los Angeles area. Maybe you want to ask her a question. Maybe you have a comment. Maybe you've been served through a crisis pregnancy center and have benefited. Maybe you have had an abortion and you're post-abortive and you have a word that you want to share. Go to the phone lines now. You get to speak with her personally. 1-800-585-9396. 1-800-585-9396. You can also email us at jimandjoy@EWTN.com. Astrid, let's share a little bit now about what's going on there in New York City with the distributing of the morning after pill to kids maybe as young as 13 years old in the New York City school system, getting the morning after pill or Plan B. And I guess first I want to ask you, I know that you're not a scientist or anything, but why is Plan B so bad, just medically or hormonally? What is it that they're giving to these kids? And then we can get into the other moral issues.
Sure. Well, all you have to do, Jim, is read the information in the packet, go on the website for the pharmaceutical company. It tells you how it works and what this pill contains. And essentially, what this morning after pill contains is a larger dose of what is contained in birth control pills. Mm-hmm. So this young person, this 14-year-old that could be taking this medication, is essentially taking a medication that contains hormones and steroids and things that can be really harmful to their health. We see it on TV all the time. We read it in magazines, how harmful the birth control pill can be. It can cause strokes and heart attacks and all of this.
Yes.
And so a young person taking the morning after pill, not knowing their medical history, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What risk factors they have, will be taking this medication that can be very detrimental to their health. But something that most people do not know, and you can just learn this by reading the information in the packet, is that this pill can work in 3 ways. It can work by preventing ovulation. It can prevent conception, or it has a third effect that it can prevent the implantation of a child that has already been conceived. So it can have an abortifacient nature. So when a young person is taking this pill, they don't understand that it's not going to negate a pregnancy. They can be possibly aborting a child that's already conceived. And we know by looking at any embryology book that our life begins at conception. So if the child has already been conceived, it's going to be aborted. And we know as Catholics that conceived child is a child made in the image of God, as tiny and microscopic as that child is. It has a soul. It has a guardian angel. This is so important that people understand the spiritual dimension of this as well, and how a young person might feel the effects physically, but then there's effects that happen emotionally and also spiritually that the young person might not know, and the parents, of course, might not know about this. So I was just in New York City last month, so I saw, Jim and Joy, how fierce the battle for life is in New York City. It is the abortion capital of America, and they have many abortion clinics, and these high schools, yes, are referring the young girls for abortions, but now the young girls are getting the medication, this Plan B or abortifacient in their schools. Now, the parents have to give permission for the young person to get an aspirin, but if the young person is requesting a morning after pill, they can get it, no questions asked.